Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Country Cottage and Garden. I am here in our kitchen. So if you saw our little downstairs home tour last week, you'll know that I didn't include this room. And the reason I didn't include this room is because it is getting full of things from the boot room, which I also didn't include. Because if you remember from a video time before that, we are going to be decorating the boot room. So we're in the process of emptying it. But I've cleared this table so that I can show you my latest shopping haul. Oh, because yesterday, or even this morning, this table was full of boxes with everything that I've been packing from the boot room. But what I have done is put them underneath this table. Now then, the shopping haul itself includes this table, a farmhouse French table with chippy paint underneath that's been stripped back and scrubbed pine on top. We've been looking for a table for, well, since we first moved here 5 years ago. We have our little table over there with our Windsor chairs, which we like to sit in. Excuse that noise, that was the washing machine. It is currently, or was, drying our clothes, but the noise was just terrible, so I've paused it. So now it's decided to turn itself off, and it does that by giving us a little whistle. So anyway, back to this little video. So we do already have our little table and chairs. This is where Robert sits all the time with his brew, reading a book. He loves to read here. This is Robert's favourite chair probably in the whole house, and usually he has a great big pile of books there, but for the purpose of this video, all things Robert has been removed. Poor Robert. And I've been faffing, so hopefully it looks quite nice. I've even been polishing the copper. Can you see how shiny it looks? Not thoroughly, so don't look too close. And then also up there. So there's a little watering can up there. And then, I also, behind the flowers, there's another little copper kettle. And then we have a little copper kettle there. And then the little jug that I found a couple of months ago from a charity shop for £1. Absolute bargain. So also on here, you can see my flowers that were on the dining table last week for our table setting. I've brought them in as well. And then I've just been in the garden and I've picked some fresh flowers. So we have lots and lots of Acamilomollis. And as I went through last week, I cut lots of the Acamilomollis and filled the jug with it. And then in between, I filled it with lots of the pink Astrantia, some of the yellow Achillea or yarrow, and then some purple Veronica and lavender. So it just gives a nice country feel to our kitchen. I've left the door open. You can see right through to the hall there. Can you see the staircase? It looks dark out there, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just the way the camera is. In here I've got the big light on. If I don't have the big light on, you probably wouldn't see anything at all. So anyway, what have we been purchasing? Well, as I said, it started with this table, and underneath it you can see the boxes I've been packing. We got the table from Beetham Nurseries. We love Beetham Nurseries. It's a garden centre that also sells lots of old painted furniture, lots of furniture that's been imported from France. And it's a lovely place to go, and it makes it a really nice setting. So we always find something we love there. Then a few weeks ago, we went to Holden Cluff with my parents. They had a sale on. So I got a few things there, including this enormous enamelled casserole tin. I love it. I think it's probably too big for our current oven, but doesn't it just look lovely on this table? And then I got this lovely old bowl. I've just put in my masher and wooden spoon. So they were both in the sale. and also these 4 pumpkins, which I think look really good. So they were all half price. So obviously this is old and old. What do they call these? These, like a milk kitchen dairy bowl, isn't it? I think I paid about £20 for that. And I think I didn't pay much more than 20 for that. It would have been less. So I'm really pleased with those. And then last weekend, we enjoyed a little trip to Settle. And we saw Tracy at Tea Time Vintage. And I found this little sugar ball. Now if I turn that round, you can see that it's focusing, Carlton Ware, and it's with the foxglove. And I thought, oh wow, it will complement the jug that I've had myself for many years. And I thought the only thing I need now is the little teapot to match it. Isn't that lovely? So yesterday we went to Kendall and at the Antiques Emporium in Kendall, and I have seen it there before. I've seen it there for well over a year, and it was £40, and I thought, I'm not paying that. The little sugar ball from Tracy was only £7, and I wouldn't have paid much more than that for this little jug, which I probably also got from Tracy many years ago. And I just thought, I mean, it's got a little chip underneath. It was absolutely filthy, but it has cleaned up rather well. So anyway, they let me have it for 30. Well, they said 36 to begin with. I thought, no, I didn't really want to pay more than £30. So we were putting it back, and they said, oh, hold on a minute. This isn't the vendor we thought. You can have it for 32. I thought, oh, okay. And I'm so glad, because now we have this lovely little trio, the cream, sugar and teapot in Carlton Ware with the foxglove. And if you know me by now, you know that I love foxgloves. So the first place we went to yesterday was, well, Robert always drops me off at one end of Kendall, and that's where I find, oh, here we go again with another blank mind. What's it called? Is it Nettles? No, it's not. The Nutshell. I've mentioned the Nutshell before. So what I got from the Nutshell, and it was in the window, and I got there before the shop opened, so I was looking in the window, and in the window was this old creamer. I presume it's Staffordshire, because it's very much of that look. Very old, even with a topper on, which you don't often find. And that was just £12. So I was thrilled to bits. And also from the same shop, I found this basket. Let me put it down. And this was £4. Now what I plan to do with this is to line it with some of the plastic, you know, from an empty compost bin, an empty compost bag I should say, because the inside are always black, aren't they? So I'm going to use that and I'll line it and then have it outside with a plant in it. So I was very thrilled with that for £4, and the cow was 12. And then I walked along the high street, and I always meet up with Robert at the other end. He goes to Waterstones. First he stops at Nero. He loves their coffee. He always gives them a 10 out of 10. And so along my way I stopped at the charity shops, and I saw this basket. It's a nice shape, nice colour, not too old, but it was £2. £2. So I thought it would be perfect to add to my collection for hanging up in the kitchen. So as you can see, I've got baskets over here hung up from the shelves. But what I have been doing lately, and I'm going to turn round, so I don't often show my kitchen because I don't particularly like how it is, but as you can see, well, here's the window. Here's the windowsill. This is our sink. It's a very old metal sink. And here's my ivy that I love to grow around in hoops. I've lots of little jugs. And then up here are baskets. So I'm now going to put the new one up here. I'll probably put it, see, oh, there we go, with a gap there. So I just thought for £2, I'm going to hang it there. So that's the other side of our kitchen. And there you can see out into the garden. This is Tittlemouse and our little gate. I'm going to pause it for a moment because Robert's just arrived home, and I'll see you again shortly. Okay, so Robert's back home. He's just upstairs getting changed. So I'm just going to finish this video. I thought I'd show you the window, how it's looking at the moment. Ideally the pelmet was from our old house, which was a narrow window. So I need to make a new one for here with some new fabric. But for now that'll do. And I've just been hanging baskets there. I've filled them with, well, the trug in the middle and the basket to the right I filled with some old paniculata hydrangeas that I've dried. So, I mean, there's a glimpse of our units. Very not country cottage style at all, are they? Ideally, what I would love to do in our kitchen is to just take it back to how a country kitchen should be, you know, with just freestanding units. It would have had a dresser and a range cooker and a kitchen table and a larder. That's more my kind of kitchen. So that would be the dream, and have like a Belfast sink. Now that would be nice. So anyway, as I said, I got this basket from the charity shop for £2, and that should be hanging from the window. And then next to it is this. Now this is made in India, and it looks like rusty copper. So I'm not sure if it's a blend of copper and something else. It was from TK Maxx and it was only £6. I just thought it'd be nice to hang in the garden somewhere. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to drill a hole, but it's really heavy and such a good weight. So I got that from TK Maxx. So then I carried on walking along, and I always end up at this shop. I don't know the name of it. It's just across from Booths. Booths is the grocery shop that we like to go to. And the shop across the way that I love to go in has a few homewares, and it sells Mile Egg, which is like, you know, the Scandinavian children's toys that I think a lot of adults like to collect. Beautiful bunnies and mice and furniture for them. Well, they sell that there, and I always like to go and have a look. So then I met up with Robert, and then we drove to the Antiques Emporium because it's just on the outskirts of Kendall. So from there, at the Antiques Emporium, is where I got the little teapot. Did you hear the whistle again? I've just paused the dryer for the second time and it's switched off. So the last things that I got yesterday, also from the Antiques Emporium, and it was just on a stand round the corner from this little teapot, were these two little prints, which you've probably already spotted. They're in very, well then, let's see, there we go. Can you make them out there? I might need to just amend them. So let's move this basket and we'll step that one up against the jug. Now then, oh, now all you can do is see me. Dear me, Sarah. How about there? How about that? That's not too bad. So, two prints by Kate Greenaway. Now I have her book. Might even be a first edition. I'll show you one day. But Kate Greenaway is a Victorian illustrator, famous for doing illustrations of ladies and children in gardens and flowers, all in the Regency period and Regency clothes. And there was, how many of these little prints were there? Because I didn't get them all. But these were £9.50 each. And I got two of them. So I got this one with the mother and the little girl who's picking up daisies. Isn't she sweet in her bonnet and her blue bow? And then her mum. So that was the first print. And I was going to leave the second one behind. But, oh, I couldn't resist it. It's so lovely. I mean, look at the outfit on this little girl. And she can't be any more than 2, for look at the size of her. And then the baby in the arms. It might not be mother. It might be the nurse. And I love the roses on the table and the waste paper basket. Isn't that lovely? And then it had a chair like our Windsor chairs. And then here, oh dear, on the floor is little Dolly with her bonnet. And I just thought, how sweet. So I love those. I think they're both really pretty. And so that concludes my shopping haul and our glimpse into our kitchen. So yes, if I take you round quickly, see, they are the most awful units. Look at those handles. Who would choose them? It must have been a bachelor who lived here at some point. But they are the ugliest units I've ever seen. So I've took the camera off them. Hopefully one day, I mean, I don't mind the carcasses. The carcasses like new. If we could just replace the doors and the handles. The thing is though, that might stop that, is the trim at the bottom. What I'd love is like if I had to do that, and like I had, because at our old, we had a 1920s house. It was a lovely little bungalow, and in our kitchen the units were handmade in a shaker style, and then we had tongue and groove panelling at the back, and I do like the look of the tongue and groove panelling, so I'd much prefer something like that. So yes, let's not look at those any longer, but what we will do is finish. We'll finish this video with our flowers from the garden, because that's where we're going to go now. It's Sunday afternoon, it stopped raining, so we need to go outside and get weeding. There's so much to do out there. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.